Alright guys, moment of truth. I think everything is plugged in and torqued down except the battery. And go ahead, see if it turns on. I lost a monkey wrench down there, but I don't think it'll get in the way. Alright guys, moment of truth. Hopes and dreams are on this. I put a lot of work into this bitch. Better turn on. I'm not a mechanic, but will let this be the determining factor if I did a good job or not. Oh shit, bro, that shit just locked out. What the? Interesting. I'm a little scared. It's making that muffin noise. All right, got the car jacked up, or the truck, I should say. And I really don't want to do this because I thought I finished this yesterday, but I'm gonna have to redo this whole shit again. At least this time I know what I'm doing, more or less. Not more or less, more this time. And all right, let's remove these lug nuts. All right, okay, once you get that removed, you now have easy access to this. You can inspect your rotors, make sure it's smooth, no scratches and all. Maybe. I'm mad. All right, now that I got this removed, let's go ahead and work on the engine.
You take my mouth, brace my sense. I can't breathe or shout, overheating. Oh, I don't know what to say. I don't know where to start. Words feel like we're strangers, drifting only apart.
They say it's trouble if you get shit down here. All right, I'm gonna come back in with my thermometer. Who am I kidding? You know, this is the same temperature as outside. It's 92 degrees right now, so I'm not sure how to approach this when it comes to the calibrating. And I'm thinking, since I have a range between a smaller and a bigger number, and it's hot, the tolerances should be tighter, right? The tolerance should be tighter because it's hotter. And when it's colder, the tolerance should be bigger because it shrinks. And so if it's bigger and closer, I should use the smaller. Should I use a smaller one? 0.2, because it'll go too tight. If you go too tight, you should use a bigger one. Yeah, I think I should use the bigger one. Man, I don't know. I'm gonna chat GPT it. All right, turning off the camera. I think it's time for a water break. It's pretty good progress. Go ahead and do a top dead center on one of these valves by turning this guy over here, and I'm gonna get my feeler gauge right there. I'm gonna turn that guy to one of these valves to bank 2. I don't know. I feel it. These dogs. All right, so this is where you got to put the camera or keep visuals on with your eyes, or have somebody as you move the crankshaft You guys can see by the dry belt, serpentine belt, there's this little rubber plastic cover. You just use that tab, pry it open, and then there it is. You have access to see the gear inside. The notch is right there on my fingertip, and then you can see the numbers in there. That's pretty much it. And then there's also one on that side, but I'm not sure if it has markings other than the main one. But right here you can clearly see it. It's pretty easy to access. Get my handy dandy tool. Where it at? That is so fucking easy. All right. Oh, mine's a 19mm socket. So apparently you only want to rotate it clockwise because I guess the other way you jeopardize or risk offsetting the timing belt. Trust me, you don't want to do that. I hope I didn't do that because I rotated it both counterclockwise and clockwise. Okay, let's go ahead and start rotating. It should see numbers 1 through 3. I'm gonna stop at whichever one comes first. Then I'm gonna check the feeler gauge. Check it with the feeler gauge. Got my cheater bore. Just a fucking pipe. Alright, let's go ahead and apply some fucking force. That way I can move this guy right here. So you see I got the fucking camera. Set the scope, I don't know if you can follow it, but I think I already showed you guys. What is that for? I already fuck with 4. Man, why does it get harder at certain points? Fucking man. Oh, this is what happens when I use one hand. Son of a bitch. I got another owie. Okay, where the fuck is it? Oh, that 19mm socket, where the fuck are you at, bro? Bro, I ain't trying to fucking spend time on this. Okay, I think I found it. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and I think that's 1. Let's go ahead and get that aligned up with that. Okay, I'm aligned with this little plastic notch from the housing with the metal. It's aligned now. Let's use ChatGPT. No, Grok actually. I'd use both, but we're gonna use Grok today. Alright, Grok currently set to top dead center, the crankshaft to top dead center on 6, and want to know what are the feeler gauge measurements that I should be using, considering that it's hot outside at 92 degrees Fahrenheit, sunny California, and I want to do the valve adjustments for both the intake and the exhaust. So keep it in millimeters and keep this conversational.
All right, nice job getting the crankshaft to top dead center for cylinder 6 on your 2006 Honda Ridgeline. You're out there in sunny California with it hitting 92 degrees Fahrenheit, so let's keep this conversational and stick to millimeters. Since the engine's been off for a day, like you mentioned before, the 3.5-liter V6 is basically at ambient temp, and that 92-degree heat won't mess with thermal expansion enough to change the valve adjustment specs. You're good to use the standard cold engine settings for cylinder 6. Set the intake valves to 0.2 to 0.25 millimeters, and the exhaust valves to 0.28 to 0.33 millimeters. Since you're chasing that ticking noise that gets louder and faster when you rev, try the tighter end, to 0.2 for intake and to 0.28 for exhaust, to minimize lash and hopefully quiet it down. Grab your feeler gauge, make sure cylinder 6 is at TDC on the compression stroke, both valves loose, not pushed by the cam, and slide the gauge in with a slight drag. Adjust the screw, then torque the lock nuts to 19 Newton meters. Keep turning the crank clockwise only for the next cylinders to avoid any timing belt issues, like what might have happened with that earlier counterclockwise turn. You see that TDC notch lined up clean on the crank pulley? Also, is the tick still there at idle or just when you rev? Let me know how cylinder 6 feels when you adjust it.
cylinder 6 with a 0.2 millimeter clearance. It's pretty good. There's like not much drag. It's just a tiny bit of drag, but it's very like just a tiny bit. Let's check the other intake. 0.2 has a little bit more drag, but it's about relative to it. I think it's because it's just dirtier on the top. Anyways, it looks like the intake at 0.2 it clears. So the 0.20 millimeters clears the intake pretty nicely, but the 0.25 millimeter it have to be a little forceful for it to go in, and then it gives me a pretty good pull when I try to pull it out. Is it too tight or is it good?
The 0.20 millimeter feeler gauge slides nicely for the intake valves with a slight drag, but the 0.25 millimeter gauge needs a bit of force to go in and feel snug. Here's what's up. Your clearance is likely right around 0.20, which is perfect on the tighter end of the spec. That slight drag is the sweet spot. It means the valve's got just enough room to move without clattering.
Okay, I'm feeling pretty confident on the intake for cylinder 6. It's at top dead center, and it cleared out the 0.2 millimeters pretty nice. It gave me just a little slight tug, and the 0.25 I have to be a little forceful for it to even fit.
Make sure you're still at top dead center, TDC for cylinder 6, crank pulley notch lined up, turn clockwise only, and check that the exhaust rockers are loose. Slide the 0.28 millimeter gauge in for a slight drag, adjust if needed, and torque the lock nuts to 19 Newton meters. Now,
what is the range for the exhaust? You mentioned 0.28 millimeters, but I want to know the minimum and the max. What was the range again?
Yeah, for your 2006 Honda Ridgeline's 3.5 liter V6, the exhaust valve clearance range is 0.28 to 0.33 millimeters. You're spot on aiming for 0.28 to keep it tight and tackle that ticking noise near the timing belt.
I'm gonna have to tweak it up with the... Oh shit, look at that. Intake exhaust. Fuck yeah. It's pretty confident. But now I confirmed it. That's a little N and X. Alright, so I fucked up. Honestly, this shit feels good. This shit feels good. I see what I did. I see what I did wrong. So I calibrated the exhaust. Let's break those loose. I need a flathead and okay. Tell you what. Let's go ahead and adjust this. So I believe counterclockwise loosens it up. Oh yeah. Okay, so I think the trick is you want to not be spot on when it comes to locking it up. Maybe you give yourself a little bit of tolerance, because as you tighten the nut, it's gonna go clockwise. It's gonna tighten it so you can plan accordingly. That's what I did. All right, happy with that. Okay, got this at 214. She's locked in. locked in. Let's go ahead and do one final check. Volts exhaust 0.3, 0.28. Okay, 0.28. All right, that's cleared. Moving on, guys. Moving on. I think cylinder 6 is good. That's pretty perpendicular to the floor. Maybe the stars are aligning with this. I think this is good. Well, I think it's that bank that's fucking up anyways. Valves 1, 2, and 3. 2 is the center. So I'm gonna go ahead and mess with these 2 intakes and then the 2 exhausts. Let's go ahead and get my feeler gauge to see if they're within specs. And check valve 2's intake. Yeah. Damn, that hurts. That's hella loose. That shit doesn't even have a fucking nut. Holy sh... Holy sh... Bro. I'll show you what I just fucking acknowledged. So all of these lock nuts are in place, right? These intakes, intake because it's IN, EX on those. Anyways, this one's absent. I fucked up. I don't think I tightened that shit. Maybe that's why the knocking noise is present. Holy bro. Is it even in here? Alright guys, I'm gonna put the camera down for those. I need to look for this shit. Hopefully it's still in there. I have no idea. Alright, wish me luck. Actually, maybe I don't have to put the camera down. Okay, maybe I can do this. Get that shit wedged in there. Alright guys, I got a magnet here somewhere. So is that the fucking knocking? Legit fucking knocking. Bro, what the fuck? How could it do such a horrible job like that? Where the fuck is the nut? It should be here somewhere, right? I got a little magnet right here with duct tape in. Let's go ahead and see if we can fish it. Fish it out. Holy shit, bro. Where the fuck would it be though? I think I may see it. I'm gonna need some pliers. Okay, I'm gonna get some different pliers. I'll be right back. Okay guys, I think I spotted. Couldn't find my needle nose tweezers. But I got this little tweezers right here with a magnet. I'm gonna pinch it so it doesn't get lost in there. As long as I apply compression force, I don't think it should be strong enough to hold itself in the... Damn, like a fucking charm. That's what I'm talking about. W's right here. Oh my god, that's embarrassing. How the fuck did I not? So a quick overview. Again, all of these have lock nuts, and I was able to fish this out using a magnet. I'm compressing this so it doesn't get lost in there, and this was really easy to take out with this method. I'm really glad I got this check early before we drove miles on end with this. Oh my god. I'm gonna make sure all of these are torqued in. What is that, 0.25? 0.25, I need my 10 millimeter socket wrench. What else do I need? A screwdriver, flathead. It's on the table. Okay. You know what? I'm curious to check the state of health of this nut. I feel like it's a little dinged up. You know what? I don't think it's even dinged up. That was just me. This is my scuff marks from the time. I'm tying it down. Make sure all of these are present. Alright, all the other lock nuts are fine. Oh my god. So embarrassing. Okay. This might be as easy as that. Alright guys, live and learn. Okay, I got my handy dandy tools. Got my tools right there, right on the most vulnerable part of my engine. Let's go ahead and calibrate the one eye. Oh my gosh, that was just super embarrassing. Where's the 0.2? 0.2. Okay. Alright, let's just go ahead and I'm gonna use this feeler gauge. It's hot as balls out here, guys. It's 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. I'm so glad I was able to find this nut. I'm sure many of us are, though. Oh my gosh. Alright, it's too tight. Okay, that feels pretty solid. I'm gonna go ahead and try to maintain this flathead in place as I torque down the nut, the lock nut this time. Make sure I had adequate fucking force. Or should I say torque? Same shit, right? Just rotational force as a torque. Oh my god. You know, it clears. Let's see if it clears 0.28. If it can't fit this, it's promising. Okay. It fitted, so I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it down further. It should tie in as I torque it out. What is that, 14? £14, I believe, is what is the torque specs rating. Okay, so obviously this is struggling to put in now. That's not going through. Obviously this one go through. Just make it looser. Dang, that's tough. Oh, you gotta loosen this. What about now? Alright. Just keep it horizontal because this doesn't fit. Alright. It's gonna get tighter anyway since I torque it down, so try to keep that more or less flat. I think that's good. Oh yeah. Yep. Clears that out. Alright, that's good. 14. Clears it. Doesn't clear it. You see what I mean by tightening it? Yeah. So I'm curious to see if this 0.2 fits. 0.2 fits. Pretty. 0.2 fits nice and snug, bro. 3 fits. 0.23 fits, I'm gonna call it. Oh. Burly. I have to move this aside. Come on. You know you want to fit through. There's a lot of work, guys. I decided to take it out. I think this should be easier to work with. This might should help. How have I spent 23 minutes on one fucking valve, bro? Well, at least it's the problem child. I feel like it clears it. Oh, good. Boom, book lock. All right. It still clears in. Holy smokes, this better be metallic. It's aluminum. Cheap. Oh. Okay, where the fuck is it? Where the fuck are you? Where the fuck are you, bro? Bro, honestly don't know where the fuck it went. Shit. Alright, let's see if I can fish it out. Okay, I have no idea where it went. Think I might need my endoscope. Shit, bro. Just my luck. Get this endoscope. Gotta get down anyways. Alright, guys. Just when I thought I was done with the job, and doing it properly this time, and figuring out the actual reason why the knocking was happening, my fucking feeler gauge falls in the oil gallery of the fucking engine. Out of all the places for it to fucking fall in, the lock nut I got lucky with, I got blessed with. Despite all that rattling and movement everywhere as the internals were moving, the engine was on, the lock nut was found. But the fucking feeler gauge that I was using to calibrate the lock nut feeler gauge falls out of my hands and falls into the hole of the oil gallery. Anyways, look where I'm at now. oil pan gasket replacement for 2006 Honda Ridgeline. This video is going to enable me to know how to remove the oil pan, and hopefully I can fish out the feeler gauge from there and get my endoscope unstuck from the depths of that oil gallery where I put the camera in to get visuals on that feeler gauge. And what ended up happening, that feeler gauge went up and down because I tried to get it out using that camera, but inevitably it went deeper down because gravity assists.
You take my mouth, raise my sins. I can't breathe or shout, overheating. Oh, I don't know what to say.
Here's my camera. Just stuck in this hole. It wouldn't back up. It has like a lip right there. It's gonna be caught. So I have a hole in it. Get jammed up.
I'm overheating.
Moment of truth, guys. Let's take a look in the oil pan. And there's the motherfucker. The whole fucking reason why I'm even doing this. What would have happened if I would have just left this in here? Like that. What would have happened? Curious. This doesn't look too bad. Alright. There's my reflection. Took out my endoscope. Doesn't look terrible. It's like IP65X, whatever that is. It's water resistant, but is it oil resistant? I don't know. I think it still works. Finally, guys, now I can finish calibrating those valves. I was calibrating valve 2, and that's when the feeler gauge had fallen into the oil pan. Man, this shit was a bitch. Fuck this shit. This shit better not leak any more fucking oil when I'm done with this shit. I swear to. Alright. We're finally back. Got my endoscope released from the traps and the depths of the oil gallery. This was not fun, guys, but it was a learning experience all around. Now we can go back to calibrating valve number 2. Just rewinding back to where I was. Sorry guys, it's been a couple of days. Been for a lot. There's the oil pan. This was not easy. This was not easy to remove. Mine does not have like a electronic sensor like other models do. Interesting. Alright, all this off just for this feeler gauge that's in there. Let's go ahead and put it back in use. Continuing off the measurement, now that I'm wiser, guys, we should like add like a wrist attachment to this tool. Let me go ahead and find a string or something. At this point, I don't care if it falls through because I have the oil pan removed. I don't care. YOLO. I'm not gonna have it attached to my wrist, but in the future reference when I don't have the oil pan removed, for anybody out there who doesn't want to remove the oil pan, put on a fucking wristband. Put on a fucking wristband, trust me. Let's continue. Okay. On valve 2, the intake and the feeler gauge. Feeler gauge is over here. I'm on. Hey, you shitheads. OMG, these guys are just jumping over my bolts. These guys jumped over that. Oh my god. I should have that off the floor. I don't even care anymore at this point. Okay, this is debatable. It fits in, but it's like a little snug. Okay, let's be quick. Man, I am tired, guys. Let's get this wheel back on. These dogs are ready to go inside. I am too. I want to shower. We're all gonna shower. Alright, let's get that wheel fastened in place so I can drop down the jack stands and the jack. Okay. The wheel is on. Let's go ahead and get these loosely attached. That way it doesn't fall off. Okay. So I guess you always want to start with hand first. By hand. Alright. I had to buy this special socket for this. For this car. Alright. Now I'm gonna get my socket wrench and just go ahead and torque that up to specs. I think about 95 foot-pounds. Okay, the job is done. Got the tire back on. I'm gonna go ahead and release it from the jack. Got the jack on. Been waiting for this satisfactory release. Okay. Something fell. Look at it later. Finally. Let's go ahead and just park this and we're done, guys. Just go ahead and just... Still need to torque that down to 95 pounds. But I'll do so right now once I get this all out. I'm done. That's it for tonight. Okay, let's go ahead and finish this bad boy. Here's what's for today. And then that's it. Oil. See if it turns on. If it doesn't, it's going down the cliff. But we'll wait to see how the results come about. Let's go ahead and take all this tape and saran wrap out and let's put it back in place. I got the spacers over here, right there. Put it in a saran wrap because I want to keep it clean. I don't want to clean it when I put it back in place because I already had cleaned it beforehand previously. So yeah, let's go ahead and put this back in. Maybe I'll blow this with wind, with air. Okay, here's today's footage to see how quickly we can install this, these gaskets. You know, I don't like ripping it like this. Get yourself a rag, parts cleaner. Spray the rag a little bit. And wipe down. Make sure there's no like sticky residue. Got my first gasket. Just aired it down. I believe it goes on like that. Or like that. Yep. Yep. Ooh. It's always satisfying. Alright, let's get those bolts on. done with this, guys. Actually starting to get a little bit excited. My life is coming back. Energy. Come on. So I'm torquing this up to 8 foot-pounds first, and then cross formation, following the online databases. And then I'm gonna come around with 16 foot-pounds. Okay, got it all torqued down in the formation that should have been done. I'll post a screenshot of it. Anyhow, I'm gonna confirm that everything was torqued down, because I already forgot one thing one time. That's torqued down. Make sure you guys' mating surfaces are cleaned. Looks clean enough. Okay, where's my screws at? Okay, I feel like these two are starting to strip. Everything else was able to torque down, obviously, other than that one, to roughly 8 foot-pounds. These two, however, I feel like would keep going and were stripped, so I'm not gonna go any further. I'm gonna leave them as is. I feel like they're tighter than anything. I don't know what's happening, but I'm leaving it. It could be that this one's off balance, that's why. All right, hopefully it's still airtight. Let's go ahead and get all these clips in place. By the way, these are around 8.8 foot-pounds, but I've did it to 8. Okay. Okay, just finished up. Everything's throttle body's torqued down to 16 foot-pounds, cross formation, and yeah. Ready to. And now this time put the intake hose. Finally done. All connections are secured. This is closed. Should probably wipe this down. Wait. Yeah, we're stepping down. This guy is leaking the power steering fluid outlet hose. That's a project for another day, but this is all torqued down to specs. All of this is tightened up. All right, we're ready to go. See what happens. Fire this puppy up. Guess I'll connect the battery back. I'm just gonna put a little bit more. Alright, that should be good. We'll go ahead and cap it and then turn on the car, see how it runs. Hopefully it turns on. Oh, okay, I already put the battery back. You can hear it. The car is on with the ignition keys in, but not turned on completely, because you guys are gonna get my reaction on camera. I've been spending a fucking week with this shit. 2 weeks, maybe 3, I don't know, periodically. But this week and the other and a half, I've been going at it intensely. Okay, I'm just making sure everything's secured, because I'm gonna fire this puppy up. Okay, make sure it's connected. Guys, I'm kind of nervous. It's my first time. Okay. Where we at? Enter code. Okay, last time I did it, put the code in and the immobilizer kicked in, so I'm gonna put the camera, I'm gonna get this in. Moment of truth. Just go ahead and turn my 3D printed makeshift key. Let's get my reaction in here. Oh, I've got the code in place. This is the dashboard right now. I got my OBD2 scanner in there. I should probably get that up and running, but alright, enough. Let's go ahead and find out. Gosh, I put a lot of work into this, guys. Again, let's rewind. Summary what I did. Valve adjustment like 3 times over. Dropped the oil pan, so oil change, of course, because I dropped the feeler gauge down the fucking engine while I was doing a valve adjustment. Who does that? A rookie, of course. And so that was an interesting learning experience. Gosh, body hurts, hearts out to the mechanics. Anyways, if this shit don't work, my God. All right, let's do it. You hear that? I'm fucking rattling. I'm not sure if that's how it's supposed to sound, but I think it's because the oil needs to circulate. So I'm gonna let it run for a minute. So far, so good. Hopefully, no engine lights come back up. All right, guys, I'm just gonna let it run. Should I rev the engine? Should I rev the engine? Let's just rev the engine a little bit. Last time I revved it, that shit sounded disgusting. Okay. Doesn't sound terrible. I don't think I did the perfect adjustment, but maybe a little too tight my tolerances, just a tad. But she's golden, I think. I'm gonna say she's good enough for me. And because it was hot outside, it was like 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Anyways, I'm gonna let her run and let her adjust and idle and learn and all that stuff. Maybe all of that needs to adjust and self-learn. Let the ECU calibrate itself. All right, we out. I think that's, I'm gonna say that's a W. Let's go ahead and get at the front seat of the engine. Alright, I'm out here. I'm gonna turn off the AC so I hear no noise. Not the radio. Alright, I just hear this attraction of the tires, which is good, right? That means the noise is not the, you can't even hear it. So I was tripping over for nothing. Shit, looks like it's flashing on my dashboard on the camera, but it's not. It's just a light outside. Anyways, it sounds like she's driving good. She sounds fine. Out here for a scenic route. Lower down the windows. Alright, don't hear anything. I suppose that's a good thing, right? I don't hear anything. Okay, just pulled over on the side of the road. Truck sounds amazing. Sounds like back to its original status, maybe better. I'm happy. Alright, I'm gonna drive it back. Obviously the power steering is another matter, but I'm gonna start driving it back. I think this might have been a W. Alright guys, let's go. No more engine light. My first time being able to remove the engine light. This is, fuck yeah. And the VTM4 is gone too. All right, let's see how long that remains. Hopefully, forever. All right, I'm gonna turn the engine off. Wait, some Taco Bell Mama brought me as a reward for fixing the family truck. But the family's truck, yeah. So gotta do some further repairs, but the major one is out.